Rise and shine, everyone. It's Friday, March 21st, and thank you for joining us right here at WEAC TV 24 with the Rise and Shine program with the Alabama Cares Show. And I'm Ellen Tibbetts-Hurst, and we do have a great show for you today. We'll be talking about storm damage scams, home improvement advice, AI-powered scams and subscriptions, all the scams, right, to watch out for, just to name a few things. We have Carl Bates with us today. He's the president and CEO of the Better Business Bureau with us this morning, and he serves Central and South Alabama, correct?
That's correct.
Good morning, Carl. How are you doing?
Good morning. Glad to be here.
Well, there's a lot of stuff that's going on. You said that you were really busy because of all the storms, and you wouldn't think, and unfortunately, people prey on other people's misfortunes, and
right.
All the storms that came through Alabama and through the whole Southeast, actually, you've been busy.
Yeah, we've had a busy week. Last weekend with the storms and the tornadoes and things that came through, we started to see almost immediately those storm chasers that we see when this happens in the spring and fall during storm season come into the areas where they've been hit and try and take advantage of people who have had damage to their homes. And
wow.
It's become a big deal. We've had hundreds of calls this week about people being
that's so unfortunate.
solicited.
I mean, so what have you seen across the state? What's going on?
Well, we see these people who basically travel with these storms who offer to do home repairs. They want to tarp your roof, they want to take care of your fence, they want to rebuild your home and get your electrical up and running, whatever it might be.
Cut trees.
Cut trees, yeah, they'll do that too. And it's usually a high pressure tactic. They want you to make an immediate decision. They want you to do it before you've even contacted your insurance company, which is certainly a questionable thing to do. They want to be paid in cash, and they usually are not licensed or insured when they're doing this work on your home. And so you want to be really careful, because if they do hurt themselves while they're on your property, then you're the one going to pay the bill for it.
That's so unfortunate. And that's so sad that people prey on those. I mean, they just wait. And that's so sad that we have to call them storm chasers, because they're the bad storm chasers.
Well, they are, and people need to be really aware of it. We've seen people who have told us stories about, well, the person came and said he could tarp my roof and he could do it today. It'd be $750, and I need to pay him in cash right away. That's something you need to be very careful of. That's a red flag.
Red flag.
You need to check it out. If they show up in a truck and it has a Montana tag on it, that usually doesn't mean they're a local guy who is licensed and insured to operate in the state of Alabama.
I worked with FEMA. I take a lot of classes and stuff, and so my work sends me to work, the tornadoes and stuff when it's needed. And I agree with you that, because a lot of times I've noticed that when Jacksonville got hit back in 2018, which I think yesterday was the anniversary of that.
Yeah.
But it was, there were people, and it was spring break, so thank goodness it was spring break. But I remember people from Tuscaloosa, from South Alabama, from Georgia, from all these people. These people were coming in the tents trying to get gift cards, trying to get money, trying to get the things that we were handing out for free. They were trying to get it because they just were trying to get it, right? So.
Right. Well, you've got those folks too who travel with it, who are in need of things, and they know there's going to be a lot of help from the community out there, and so they're going to be out there soliciting for food, supplies, gift cards, things like that. So you need to be careful with that too. If your house has been damaged, the first thing you need to do is contact your insurance company. Take some pictures, get a hold of your insurance company, get instructions from them what you should do. And a lot of times the insurance company has emergency repair services they're going to send out. So you want to use that if you can, okay? And then if these people approach you and want to do it, and usually it's, hey, if you don't tell me right now, I'm going to move on to the next neighborhood. I'm going to move on down the street.
And then they were so worried that I guess the roof is not tarped and it's going to rain again, and so they want it done right then as well, and they prey on that.
That's exactly right. Or it's the power's been out and the power company's come and put the lines back up, but your home's not hooked up yet because you need an electrician to do that. And so they can say, well, I'm an electrician, I can do that for you, and I'll do it right now, but you got to tell me, and you got to write me a check, pay me in cash, send me a Venmo. We all are used to those Cash Apps and Venmo things. And then a lot of times they're gone. and they may not have completed the work, and if they did complete the work, it may not be safe.
And they'll just move on.
They'll just move on
And
to
I
the
know
next
that you
street.
had a whole thing of, whole slide presentation. So do you do that? Like, do you go, is that what you've been doing, is just going around the state and actually just educating them? Like you're educating everybody out there today about all these storm issues?
Yep. The Better Business Bureau has a whole text message set up. We followed all the tornadoes last weekend by latitude and longitude, and we made sure that after the storms had passed, we started texting out information to people who may have been affected by these storms about what to do and what not to do, so that they could take care of this in a safe way and not be scammed by these storm chasers as they came through.
Wow.
And we do that pretty regularly, and we've spent all the time since last Saturday doing that.
Oh, wow. So you've been just going from
storm to storm, place to place. Yeah, we go and, people call us, they get on our website, because the one thing people have replaced if they've been in a storm is they either had their phone with them these days, which they can use like a computer, or they've replaced it immediately. And that makes them, when we text them, they get this information right away.
Okay, so when the slides that you have, they can they go on your website or something?
They can go on our website and get all the information about what to do if your house has been damaged by a storm.
Oh, wow.
BBB.org, they can go right there.
BBB.org, that's an easy one to remember.
Yep, they can call us at 205-558-2222. Our customer service folks will be glad to text that to them or email them the link for that, and then they can get it right on their phone.
Wow. So you have seen this all across Alabama right now?
We have seen it everywhere there was a storm last weekend. We have had calls from and seen this. And, if you're in the storm affected areas, you know this. People show up the next day with their trucks and their trailers and this offering to help. And they are helping, but they're not, like I say, licensed. They're not insured. They shouldn't be doing work in the state.
And they shouldn't be asking for the money right up front.
You should never pay anybody up front for work on your home. And
right, because your
don't know it's
insurance
completed.
might pay for it too as well, right?
That's exactly why I said the first thing you should do is call your insurance company, see what their advice is, and they might send somebody to tarp your roof as part of your insurance claim.
Right.
So you don't want to pay these people. You're not going to get reimbursed. Some people think they'll be reimbursed by their insurance company. That is usually not true. And that's a lot of times what the storm chaser will tell them. The work we do, and you pay me, and then I'll give you a receipt, and then your insurance company will reimburse you. That's not always true. And so a lot of those things, these storm chasers are very clever in what they say and how they take advantage of people.
Clever in a bad way.
Clever in a bad way, and we want the public to know that they should be very careful in dealing with these folks.
Okay, so they need to, those are some of any other tips for storms?
Well, again, check for permits and licensing.
If you're
that's
important.
You're gonna do work on your house, you're gonna, be pounding nails and cutting boards and things, you're gonna need a building permit. You wanna make sure you have that building permit.
There's the
slides up there, that's
yeah.
great. You wanna make sure you have a written contract. You wanna make sure you get something in writing from these folks and that you know what you've got and you've signed a quote and you're not going to be told it's $500 and then they come back later and say, it was a little more than I thought. It's $1,500 now.
I need more.
You owe me. I need more. So, too good to be true estimates or something there. Contact your insurance company first. Verify the businesses through our website at bbb.org. Make sure they're a local business here in the state. Get the estimates in writing, as I said. If possible, use a credit card, not a debit card, but a credit card for the payment. Because then if you're later on find out you've been taken, you can dispute the charge with your credit card company.
That makes sense.
Yeah, you got to have that. And then get the permit, make sure you have it. And if you've been involved in fraud or you think you've been fraud, call us or go to our website, report it to us immediately, get to local law enforcement, and let your local sheriff or police know that there's a fraudulent activity going on. Also, the Alabama State Licensing Board, the Home Builders Licensor Board, wants to know immediately if somebody's there without credentials. They should all have a card that identifies them as a state licensed contractor. And then check your checking account. If you used a debit card or you wrote a check, make sure that what you wrote it for is what they charged.
Right.
And not 10 times that. I mean, we've seen people say it's $500. they put it on their debit card and they get charged $5,000. So you want to, all of those things go on. It's terrible that it happens for storm damage.
Right.
In these, we're all emotional after our home's been damaged.
Right.
And we make mistakes when we're emotional, and the storm chasers know that.
It's not a good time to make major decisions when you're emotional.
Not the time to remodel your kitchen. It's not that time to do that. Yeah, you can do that later when you have a few minutes.
Right,
so,
right.
To think
wow,
about it, so.
That's a lot to think about. But it's better to be safe than sorry. I mean, I think that if your house is already damaged and it has a leaky roof, do what you can do until you can get it resolved with maybe your insurance company or whatever, and they can give you the tips of what your next step might be.
You need that insurance adjuster to come out and look at the damage, talk to you about it, talk about what it should be. That's really, really important to go through, because if you don't do that, if you have one of these folks come and say, I see your roof's been damaged by the storm, probably has some hail damage, I can get you a free roof.
Sounds too good to be true.
Run away. If it sounds too good to be true, that's exactly right. If it sounds too good to be true, run away from that person and call your insurance company and make sure you know what you're
And some of these people can be very, very, very aggressive, as far as not physically, but aggressive as far as making you wanting to make you make a decision right then, because I've seen that firsthand.
Urgency.
Yes.
Urgency is one of the terms we use all the time. If they're telling you, I need you to make a decision right now because there's 50 homes in this neighborhood who have damage, and I can go next door or down the street and take care of them unless you're going to do this.
Right.
That's one of those red flags of fraud that you want to say, I'm sorry, I can't make that decision right now until I talk to my insurance adjuster. I'll get back to you.
And you don't want to be out any more money than you have to be.
That's right. Most of the time these people don't have business cards. They aren't going to write a quote down that has their name or their logo on it.
Some fancy carbon paper or something.
Yeah, they're just not going to be professional.
Right.
They may be great at construction, but that's not what they're here for. They're here to take advantage of you.
Well, when we come back, we're going to talk about home improvement as well.
Good time of year to do that.
Yes. So we're going to take a break for a word from our sponsors. So you are watching WEAC TV 24 Rise and Shine with Alabama Cares. Don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back.
At First Class Roofing and Solar, we are not here to sell you a roof. We are here to get your insurance to buy you a roof. From roofing to gutter installation and detaching and resetting solar panels, we've got you covered. So, Mr. Ward, was it easy working with us?
Yes, you guys handled everything with my insurance company, and the hardest thing I had to do is pick out the color for my shingles.
Leave the hassle to us. We'll handle the insurance process so you don't have to. Get your free estimate today. Call 989-THE-GOAT and let us take care of your roof and your insurance too.
Since 1848, First Bank of Alabama has been serving East Central Alabama, now serving 6 counties in East Central Alabama. We now currently have 13 locations, expanding to 15 locations. In 2024, we opened Anniston, right here in Calhoun County. Whenever we first came to Calhoun County, it was 2019 in Oxford. Whenever we're expanding, we're now going to Jacksonville in 2025. We look forward to continuing to be in your local hometown bank, right here in Calhoun County in East Central Alabama.
I'm Alan Parnell, the Parnell Insurance Agency. We've been here in Oxford and Alabama, Tallapoosa, Georgia since 1990. With Auto Owners Insurance, we're able to give customers competitive pricing along with excellent coverages. Parnell Insurance can handle all of your personal, commercial, and life insurance needs. We have a very experienced staff, both personal and commercial. All together, we've got about 125 years experience. Come see what our insurance agency can do for you in Oxford, Alabama and Tallapoosa, Georgia.
Auto Owners Insurance.
Whether you are traveling or on the rebound, get with your local Allstate and huddle up to find the best options for you. With a strong variety of coverages to choose from, Allstate is on a mission to get you in good hands today.
Welcome back, everyone. You're watching Rise and Shine here at WEAC TV 24 with the Alabama Cares program. We have Carl Bates here with the Better Business Bureau. We were talking all things storms all the fraud and.
It's been a tough week.
Yeah, that's just so bad. I mean, I just, your heart goes out to these people, and I've
Sure
witnessed
does.
it firsthand as well, working storms myself. So it's just a sad thing, but it's good to educate the public and let them know, they can go to www.bbb.org,
Yep.
and you can go there, and it gives you some steps that you can take to prevent being swindled, I guess, so to speak, right?
Yeah. You don't want to be scammed in this process.
And so the next thing we're going to talk about, because it is spring, and I'm feeling a little itch in my nose, so if I sneeze, you know why. It's the pollen. But it is spring, so this is when everybody wants to get outside and do home repairs and upgrades and all that good stuff. So I'm sure that there's some things going on with that as well.
Yeah,
right?
well, we had this storm come through last weekend just at the same time that we started all the home improvement things going on, and people started getting their plants ready and getting the grass cleaned up and all. So there's a few things to look out for in the home improvement world as you're going through it, and that's if somebody approaches your house, knocks on the door, and comes to the door unannounced, or you didn't invite them, and
big red flag.
says, "Hey, your windows are looking a little ragged here. I can replace your windows," and that's something you need to be really careful of. If they're asking for the payment all up front, that's absolutely a no-no. That's a scam. You should never pay more than about 30% of any job up front as the deposit on the job, and pay the rest when it's completed. And then.
Wow.
If you agree to a job and all of a sudden they come back and the price goes up 10 times, the famous one is people with pine straw who are helping get around your shoves, and they've done 50 bales of pine straw, but they come back and ask you for the amount for 300 bales of pine straw.
Right.
I've had people who got a bill for $3,000 for pine straw, and they thought they were going to get a bill for about $100, and you really don't have anything there. And then again, the pressure to pay up front, these cash-only deals, you don't have a written contract or an estimate from these folks. You need to be very careful. We've also seen a lot of people giving out references, and our clients, our consumers, say, "Well, I got references," and my comment is, did you check them? And they go, "No, I didn't check them. I thought if they gave me that list, it had to be good." Well, check the references when you get them from these folks, and then verify that they have a license and insurance and the proper business licenses to operate in East Alabama or wherever your home is.
Or your city, because sometimes
your city
ordinances,
license. Yeah, make sure they have that. And most people who are legit are glad to show that. They're not going to hide it.
No.
The scammers are going to hide it.
Oh,
so
yeah. They'll
you
have
need
an
to
excuse.
need to be really careful on that. So,
Right.
always get a multiple estimate thing on a big job. Windows, roofing, and stuff. 2 or 3 estimates is reasonable. Again, don't pay up front. Get it all in writing, and read the fine print on those estimates and those contracts. We've had people signing away for things they didn't know they were getting. If you think you've had a fraudulent contractor helping you with home improvements, stop the payment as soon as possible. Go to your bank and stop payment on that check if you wrote them a check.
Because paying for that stop payment is
it's worth it versus the fraud. So you need to be very careful of that on there, and then report it to us at the BBB Scam Tracker site, bbb.org, and file a complaint with your local police or sheriff, and let them know you think you've been scammed for this. So those are the main ththings. It's all about, if it sounds too good to be true.
It probably is.
It probably is.
Probably is. And like you said, you don't think of that. Because and it's different for a company to come to your home unannounced versus, we're not talking about the kid next door that's going door to door to see if he can cut your grass.
Yeah, definitely not.
No. not talking about that, but I can see that, and it's so funny because in the back of my mind, I'm thinking of it even back in the day, when you watch Andy Griffith, about the gentleman that kept talking about how bad, Aunt Bee's roses bushes look like.
Yeah.
The whole scam thing. So, this is something that just has gone on since the beginning of time, pretty much.
Oh, this is every spring, every summer we see this. The guy who comes by and knocks on your door and says, "Hey, I've been fixing your neighbor's driveway down the block, and I've got half a load of asphalt left in my truck, and I noticed you've got some potholes in your driveway. I'll make you a great deal if you'll just let me fix your potholes today." Well, that's a scam. That guy's been going door to door all throughout the neighborhood trying to sell that asphalt material to fill potholes.
Right.
He wasn't doing a driveway down the neighborhood. So
Right.
those kinds of things are what you need to look out for.
Right, and that's so sad.
It really is.
And I guess it's you're busy year round.
We are, but this is our busy season.
Right.
This and the holidays are the two busy seasons. Storms and the holidays with these shipping scams and things are the busy times for
we're going to
us.
talk about stuff, that kind of thing.
We'll
later
talk about
too.
those too. Yeah. But yeah, this is why we're trying to warn people ahead of time. Somebody comes and says, "I notice you need a little pine straw around your bushes and things, and I'll take care of it for you." If you haven't agreed on how much pine straw and how much it's going to cost, don't do it.
Right.
We've had people call us and say, somebody came in and said they'd put out 300 bales of pine straw around my bushes.
Oh my
I only have 12 bushes. How could that have happened?
Right.
And my comment is always, did you get it in writing? Do you have a receipt?
And you have to
they're
laugh
like,
to keep
"No."
from crying because that's just horrible.
And you have no recourse except to write a check
Right.
for whatever they ask
How
for.
these people sleep at night,
It's,
right? I mean, wow.
It's an amazing thing happens, and it happens every spring, and we talk about it every spring, and we want to warn as many people as possible just to be careful.
We're going to start a little bit now on the artificial intelligence powered scams that are on the rise. And you and I were talking a little bit about earlier about the statistic that everybody thinks that our seniors are the ones that are mostly scammed.
Right. Right.
Mostly are the ones that get their identity stolen and so forth. But you said something totally different.
The new research that's just come out showed that in 2024, the group that is now scammed more than any other group is 18 to 30-year-olds.
18 to 30-year-olds people.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, and it's probably because they're online more than anybody else as well, correct?
The scams are a little different than what our seniors see.
Right, because they're gaming, they're shopping, they're TikToking, they're
online shopping. The employment scams are big with that group. Work from home, you can earn money at home, and it sounds glorious, and you can do some shipping and other stuff at home.
It sounds too good to be true, right?
If it sounds too good to be true, it is, and you should always look out for that.
And you were talking too about that law enforcement agencies and organizations like yours seeing a significant increase also, but targeting Google and Gmail users.
If somebody approaches you with an email or a text message and said your Google account has been compromised and I need your recovery code or I need your password in order to do that, then you need to be very careful. That is not something that Google will do.
Right.
Okay, so be very cautious. Google or Microsoft, somebody calls and asks you for that, please be careful with those. Those are fake phone calls, fake text messages. It's up on the screen now, fake security alerts that you want to be careful not to fall. What they're trying to do is get your password. Because once they've got your password, they already have your email. Now they have access to your Gmail or your Microsoft account, and they basically have everything that's in your Gmail account or your Microsoft 365 account.
And I remember you telling us, because this blew my mind, I remember you telling us at one point that, one of the things that they do too, I mean, when they call you, they can actually steal your voice and all that good stuff, which you might be talking about that a little bit later too.
Well, the AI part of it is, if you answer the phone and they say, is this Ellen? And you go, yes, it is. Well, they've recorded all that, and all it takes is them recording a few words in order for them to be able to put whole sentences together for you. So you need to be very cautious of that. And don't ever share your Gmail recovery code if you get one. Make sure you've enabled multi-factor authentication. It's a little bit of a pain to do that, but it will protect you. Stay, as it says up there, skeptical of these calls and emails that demand, hey, you need to do this right away. This is a big deal on that. And monitor your accounts for these suspicious activity. And I've always told folks, update your passwords. We hate that because we have to change them. But update your passwords a couple of times a year.
And don't share the recovery codes.
Never
like
share the recovery code. Never share your password. Never share any of that. And if you feel you've been scammed by Microsoft or Google by somebody acting as them, you need to contact them immediately through their security page and report it. You need to let local law enforcement know. You can also report it at IC3, which is the government's site. and the FBI and Secret Service, and then report it to bbb.org so
Right.
we know.
And you said that there's a few red flags to watch for too. You were talking about, I think, urgency and pressure about the scammers and all that.
That's exactly right. You want to, urgency and pressure. They're requesting personal information. It's a suspicious link. It's not a Google link. It's a suspicious link that doesn't looks like an individual's link sending you this email.
And I've noticed when I get emails like that, because sometimes I get emails like that, even at work, I'll get them. And if I click on who it came from, the email address, it is not Google. It is not Microsoft.
No, that's exactly right.
It's like some crazy email that's got all these symbols or
That's exactly
like
right.
something in it, and it's nothing. And I don't even click on anything of theirs. I mean, I click on who the email's from, but I don't click on any links or
Once
anything.
you click on that, hover over that email and see the entire syntax of it. If it doesn't look right, that's when you should hit the delete button.
Right.
Okay, because it's certainly going to happen that Google, if it's Google or Microsoft, they're going to contact you multiple times. They're not going to let this go on. They have great security. So you definitely want to look at that and see. Same thing with these text messages that have links to them. And so you should click on this link and give me this information.
Right.
If that link doesn't look legitimate, it's not, and you should just delete it and go on. Most text messages are not going to come from Google or Microsoft or
Right. And usually those,
Best Buy or any of those
right,
others.
and usually those places, even like Amazon or any of those places, will never ask you for your personal information in that
That's right.
form anyway.
They're never going to ask you for your password.
Right.
They're never going to certainly do it by text or email. They're going to, if there is, they're going to send you something that says, we need you to
Right.
call us. I got a call yesterday from American Express saying, we're challenging a charge on your account. We've locked your account. Please call us. That voicemail came in. I called the 800 number on the back of my card. They said, is this charge something you did? And I said, yes, I did. So now my
Right.
card's fine, and I was
And
appreciative.
my bank is like that too. I have a credit union, and it can be aggravating sometimes, but you know what? It's great that they keep such a close eye on that.
That's right.
You want the institution where you keep your money, you want them to be very vigilant
That's
in
why
that.
you should always use a credit card for these things.
Correct.
Not Venmo or any of these Cash App things, Zelle or any of these other things, or your debit card. Those you
Right.
don't have any security with.
And when we get back, we're going to talk a little bit more about that and some other interesting things. So we're going to take a break and hear from our sponsors. You're watching WEAC TV 24 Rise and Shine with Alabama Cares, and we'll be right back.
Cutter's Pizzeria is celebrating 5 years with 2 locations in Alexandria and Oxford, Alabama. Open Monday through Saturday for dine-in, takeout, and delivery. Y'all come on out for our popular 5-pound pizza, wings, salads, pastas, and more. You can find out more about Cutter's Pizzeria at cutterspizzeria.com.
I want to live. The leading cause of death of young Americans like me is gun violence, and oftentimes tied to substance misuse. NBA, NFL, NCAA, most of you look like me, and our communities need you now more than ever. Let's make I Want to Live more than just a hashtag. Let's make it a movement. I am a baller against bullets.
At Family Prosthetic and Medical Supply, we care about you. We offer custom prosthetics, orthotics, diabetic shoes, and durable medical supplies. We're located here in Alexandria, Alabama, where it's a country feel but professional care. Come see us today.
Hey guys, this is Blair Smith at Pediatrics Plus here in Anniston, located on Henry Road. I'm over here on the well side, but we do also have a sick side urgent care if you need us. We are more than happy to see you guys. Just come on, check us out if you get a fever, cough, or cold, or want to come in for a good checkup. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. welcome back to Rise and Shine with Alabama Cares program on this Friday morning. Thank you for being with us, and we thank Carl for being with us with the Better Business Bureau. He gives some interesting information, scary, but interesting.
Sorry.
Interesting information, and we're talking about artificial intelligence and how that is used to scam people, how that's used to steal identities and to steal information and all these things. And we were talking about the ways that they can protect themselves, and you were talking about sharing codes or your passwords and all that kind of thing. And to be very skeptical when you get emails like that and phone calls. And one of the things that I guess you did talk about how that they should change their password right away if they feel like they have gotten scammed or whatever. But you know, you need to stay vigilant and be very aware. And if you're ever in doubt, I think your gut pretty much will tell you. But if you're ever in doubt, you know, ask somebody and verify it before you trust that link or whatever. And you know, one of the things that we were talking about right quick before we get into the other about the subscriptions and so forth, but one of the things we were talking about was the voices. And I remember you telling us at a training one time, this is very scary, that not only that they can steal your voice to do these kind of things, but they can also steal your voice to like call grandparents or call parents and pretend to be that daughter or that granddaughter and say, hey, I'm in jail, you need to send me such and such money.
Yeah,
that's scary.
The grandparent scam is something we see all the time, 12 months a year. And it's now with AI, they've recorded your grandsons, your sons, your daughters, your grandchildren, and then they can take it and make it into sentences. And so, you know, the scam goes like this. You're sitting there at 7 o'clock at night and the phone rings, and at the end of the phone it's your granddaughter. And it sounds like your granddaughter saying, hey, I've been in a terrible accident and it was my fault and I've been arrested and I really need your help. I need $800 to get out of jail tonight. Can you help me? Now, most people, you know, at that point of time, you're a senior citizen, you're going to say, yes, what can I do to help you? And it sounds just like your grandson or your granddaughter, you're going to help.
Right.
And the person, the AI person, which is all computer driven, says, well, let me put the sheriff on the phone and he can give you the instructions on what to do. And sheriff gets on the phone, this voice gets on the phone, which is a real person. I'm Joe Blow, the sheriff in this city or county.
Wow.
And I need the $800 and here's what you can do. And usually it's, well, you can go to the ATM and get the money and then take it to the Chevron station on Highway 78 and you'll see their ATM there. And that's actually a crypto ATM. And I will give you the instructions of what to put in, dial in my wallet number for the sheriff's office, and then take those $20 bills that you got out of the ATM and put them into that ATM. And that will take care of getting your son or daughter out of jail tonight.
Do they do the Bitcoin thing too?
Same thing, crypto, Bitcoin, they're all one and the same. Yeah, and there are literally hundreds. Most ATMs that you see that are in these convenience stores, supermarkets, Walmarts, places like that, all are crypto ATMs as well. And that is the new, it used to be go get a gift card, read me the numbers on the back of the gift card. You've heard us train about that for years. Now gift cards are gone. That's old technology. Now it's get cash and put it into an ATM that takes cryptocurrency
and I know that,
and feed the crypto.
I remember you saying, because I know that a lot of us are guilty of this because I've been guilty of it before. When you get so many scam calls all the time that you're just like, stop calling me, and you just want to slam the phone down, and which we can't slam the phone down anymore. We have to press the button, right?
Yeah.
But it's like you just get so aggravated because you get all these calls all the time. And then you say something, and when you say something, that's when they steal your voice.
The more you say, the more they steal your voice. So the scammers are trying to engage you in a short conversation, and that's being recorded and then parsed out, and they can take and build sentences back with it. So you need to be very careful. When you answer the phone, don't identify yourself, certainly, and don't say the word yes. Immediately. You could say hello, but not yes.
Right.
As I was telling you about Medicare Advantage plans, we've seen people who picked up the phone, said yes when they answered it, and then the scammers took that recording of yes and applied it to changing their Medicare Advantage plan because they said yes from their current
And our
Medicare plan
seniors
to
need
this.
to know that. They
Especially now because
so
it's
need to
7
know
days away from the end of the change period.
Right.
And so we know those calls take place, and then you go to the doctor, and now you don't have the insurance you thought you had.
Oh, that's so
And you've
sad.
got to go through a process with the state to get that change back. It can take 30, 45
So
days.
what can they do? Like, well, you said to make sure to call you guys, I'm sure, if they feel like...
Report it to the Better Business Bureau, report it to the state at the shipped office, report it to you guys at East Alabama Area Council on Aging, and y'all can help them get through the process. But there's a process you have to go through.
Right.
And we see that happen every year this time of year.
That's so
Yeah,
sad.
it really is. And it's not just this grandparent scam, it's the Medicare thing, it's other things that they can take out a credit card in your name because you said yes. So now they're applying for a credit card, they're applying for a loan. And all of a sudden, if you don't check your credit every few months to see if anybody's applied for a loan or taken out a credit card in your name, you can easily have a new credit card that you didn't know about that has a big balance on it. And guess who's responsible for that?
You are.
You or I.
And can they actually, is there a place, I know that there's a number or somewhere where they can call if they're getting all these scam phone numbers. And I remember calling, I think it may not have been the Better Business Bureau, it may have been the Trade Commission or somebody.
FTC,
that
right.
that I called, and I had all these numbers because I wrote them all down, that these people were calling me from, because they ghost numbers.
Right.
They ghost these phone numbers, and it's maybe a phone number you recognize, actually, from local number or something with
Very much
256 or a 205-334 area code. And when I talked to the Trade Commission, they said, well, we appreciate you doing this. We wish more people would report it to us because we can't keep up.
Right.
And by the time they've called somebody, they've already got another phone number.
Oh, the
so it's so
scammers
hard to keep up with.
We've done some investigating on this, and these scammers, we see a lot of calls that now come from Washington, D.C. And that's really the scammers. They may be offshore in a foreign country making these calls. The number looks like it's coming from Washington, D.C., so you assume it's a government number.
Right.
It's not a government number. It's a number they spoofed. And they can spoof a number in literally seconds. So they They call you with one number, they call me with a different number. And so you could keep track of them, but the reality is the way technology works, we can make a number look like we're next door if we want to.
Right.
And that's the problem. Most of these scammers are not in the United States. We're having to track them to foreign countries, working with the Secret Service.
Is there anything that they can put on their phone or anything that they can call? Because I know some people, I mean, this happened in my family, that they stopped answering their phone because they had so many scams.
A lot of people have an answering machine on their phone. It's old technology, but they have the answering machine on their phone if they have a regular landline phone. And they don't answer the phone, they let the answering machine answer it. And they're listening to see if it's somebody they know. And if it is, then they pick up during the voicemail message being recorded and talk to the person. But that way the scammers don't get to them. And they want, if somebody calls you and says, this is the IRS and we're calling about your tax return, that's a scam. The IRS doesn't reach out by phone.
They will never call you,
They
though.
only reach out by letter.
Right.
That's how they reach out. So if you didn't get a letter from the IRS, it's a scam. And so that's where you got to be very careful to kind of front your calls, know what you're doing, and not be taken by these people who, again, urgency. This is the IRS. You owe $5,000 on your taxes. I need to collect half of that tonight in order not to issue a warrant for your arrest.
Right.
That's a scam. But people get nervous and they pay them the $5,000.
Right. And don't argue with them, even if you, right? I mean, because they're
You're
going to be
just
stealing your
prolonging
voice.
the agony, and they're recording your voice
Yes.
longer, and you're getting in more trouble as you go.
Right.
So you
even
wanna-
though you want to just bless them out, you can't.
No,
I mean,
you can't.
well, I mean, you could, but I mean, it's not a good idea.
Not a good idea, and it's not going to help you any. And that's the whole point. The scammers are trying to get you off target, off your regular game, and that's when we as consumers make mistakes. And that's what they want, is they want you to make a mistake so that you lose money and they gain money. As I was telling you before, $14.5 billion last year went to scammers in the United States.
$14.5 billion, just in Alabama.
No, across the country,
Oh, okay.
billions of
Okay.
dollars.
Well, good.
In
Okay,
Alabama,
that scared me.
It's like 80 million in Alabama went to scammers. That's a huge
That's
number.
huge.
That's a huge number. And so, we know that we had, just at the Better Business Bureau, $43 million worth of scams reported to us last year.
Oh, wow.
You know, that's a lot.
That's just the reported.
That's just what was reported to us. That's not what,
Imagine
a lot of
all the
people don't
ones that-
report it because they feel embarrassed.
Right.
They realize they got scammed, they feel embarrassed. They're not going to report it. They're not going to call their local law enforcement. That's what the scammers are hoping, because that allows them to continue.
And it's not just your elderly, and like we were talking about the 18 to 30-year-olds, the people that, you know, a lot of people say, oh, well, it's, you know, the people that are less educated or what, and it's not, because I've seen where there was actually a story of I think it was a news anchor that actually got scammed herself, and it was so real. I remember that story. I can't remember when it was, but it just shows that it crosses over everything, you know. So I mean, just be very aware.
Very recently, one of the local weathermen who's on TV all the time, the meteorologist, was scammed or almost scammed by the jury duty scam. And he got the text message, got the email. You've missed jury duty. You're going to be owed a fine, or I'm going to have to arrest you. I'm the sheriff, and I'm, you know, serving a warrant today for your arrest. And it was so real. And then the person emailed him something that looked like an official letter for this warrant for his arrest, and he was ready to pay. And luckily, the investigative reporter of that station heard him going back and forth with his wife about this situation, and she said, hold on a minute, let me call the guy at the Better Business Bureau and let's talk about it. We said, don't do that. No. Stop right here.
Right.
And he showed me all the documentation. I mean, the jury duty scam is there every week, every month. It's constant. Your police officers tell you about it. We tell you about it. Everybody does. And still people fall for it. So all those
like you
things
said,
to be careful
they're
of.
hoping to catch you on a day that you're off your game, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
that's
Really
unreal.
bad.
Right. And we're
Really
going to talk
bad
about, next we're going to be talking about scams involving fake subscription renewal emails. Again, another email thing, right?
Another
We're going to be
email.
talking about that.
Yeah.
And guys, I mean, I hope that you're all out here listening. And if you missed part of the show, make sure that you go back and watch it on YouTube or on our Facebook page, because this is very important information. And please share it. Share it with all your friends, people at your church, your family, everybody, even the young folks in your family that's around you too. Like you said,
Very
18 to
much.
30-year-old is very high risk. So make sure you share that with everyone. And when we get back, we're going to talk about subscription scams and fraud as such. So we're going to go and take a break right now, and you are joining us on WEAC TV 24 Rise and Shine with the Alabama Cares program with Carl Bates, and we'll be right back.
Hi, welcome to Classic 13. How can I help you?
I was thinking about getting a tattoo. Do I need to make an appointment?
No, we take walk-ins every day. Let's find someone to help you. Follow me. Okay, if you'll have a seat right here. Thank you.
Come down to Classic 13, where good tattoos aren't cheap and cheap tattoos ain't good.
At Alexandria Brake and Muffler, we strive to perform exceptional service using premium quality parts to ensure your vehicle withstands the test of time. We do all automotive maintenance and repairs consisting of AC service, check engine light diagnostics, brakes, coolant, and exhaust. Give us a call today. Proudly serving our community to provide honest, high-quality service and repair at a fair price.
At Southern States Bank, we pride ourselves on being your bank. We're your neighbors and involved in the community. We're the bank featuring the Southern Rewards checking account, a cashback account with no ATM fees. We are on the cutting edge and always have a smiling face to help you out. So come to Southern States Bank, where we are committed to great service and being a great neighbor. Let us be the bank for you and your business.
Hello, my name is Bob Couch, and I'm the owner of Couch's Jewelers. We are your destination for engagement rings, wedding bands, and anniversary and birthday gifts. We offer a wide selection of the best value diamond jewelry and engagement rings. We even gift wrap every purchase for free. And if you have some jewelry that is broken, no worries. Expert jewelry service is offered in-house. At Couch's Jewelers, our customer service is unmatched. If you would like a special jewelry item created just for you, please come to see us.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back on WEAC TV's 24 Rise and Shine with Alabama Cares program this morning. We are so thankful that you joined us this bright and early morning. We hope that you have a wonderful weekend this weekend, but we are talking something very serious today. We have Carl Bates here with us from the Better Business Bureau, and it's always a joy to have you because I learn something every time I'm around you. You're just so full of knowledge. I mean, and you're never too old to learn anything. I'm a firm believer in that. But we've talked about all different kinds of scams and fraud and all that. And now we're going to talk a little bit about subscription renewals and how the emails and how they phish and there's just so many scams. We were just talking about a few of them at break, and I was like, oh, I forgot about that one.
The list is keeps going on and on and on, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it really does.
Scary stuff. So so you've seen a rise in scams where criminals impersonate legitimate businesses.
Oh yeah.
And they send fake subscription renewals to steal personal and financial information.
Yep.
And so you're here to give us an update on this.
Well, let me give you an example of one that we've seen. Okay, we all now have flat screen smart TVs hooked up to something. And we have seen multiple times where you're watching a movie, say on Netflix, and all of a sudden a pop-up comes up and stops the movie and says, your Netflix subscription is about to expire. You need to put in your credit card so we can continue your Netflix subscription. That is a scam. Netflix doesn't do that. But people take their remote and they type in their credit card number in order to continue to watch the movie. And so they do that, they put their credit card number in, they hit enter, and bingo, the movie comes back on and they think they've done their Netflix subscription. The reality is they didn't do their Netflix subscription. They have no idea when their subscription is due to be charged to their credit card again. But they gave their credit card number to the scammer. And now, a month later, they see on their credit card bill a charge for $1,500. Because the scammer took that credit card and immediately charged it. Expensive movie. Okay, so things like that. Sometimes it's an email that says, hey, your McAfee subscription's about to expire that protects your computer.
I had one of those just pop on mine when I was doing, because I'm back in school. I mean, what was I thinking? But anyway, I had one of those pop up on my computer that was the McAfee, and it says you need to renew.
That's exactly right. $99 or whatever it is, put in your card now and we'll take care of that. How many of us really know when your subscription for virus software expires?
I have no clue. Mine is a brand new computer.
I don't have a clue when mine does, whether it's McAfee, whether it's Microsoft, whether it's anybody else. Virus, whatever protection. Those are the kinds of things that you're getting emails about, or even text messages, or pop-ups on your computer about, because the scammers can access those smart TVs now through the internet. They can access your TV's hooked up to the internet, you're streaming something, you're not a cable subscriber. So be very careful not to enter payment unless you know you've initiated the purchase. You know your subscription's up, or they mailed you a card that said by the 25th of the month you need to renew your subscription. Use this link, and you typed it in and you went to the actual McAfee site and renewed your subscription. Verify your subscription. Be cautious of these pop-ups, these emails, phone calls from somebody soliciting your renewal. McAfee and all these people, Netflix and others, they don't call you. They don't have the people to call you. That's a scammer calling you. So be careful there. Again, use multi-factor authentication. Make sure your spam filters are up to date so you get as much of that out of the way as you can before those happen. And if you see it happening, make sure you report it to us. Report it to ic3.gov, which is the FTC who tracks and governs those folks. Contact your bank or your credit card provider. Always use a credit card, not a debit card for these subscriptions. Credit card, you can dispute the charge. Debit card, you've lost the money. That's the difference, okay? And then let your police know that there's a scam out there so they can have a report of it. Those are the keys to this thing. And
Right.
You know, the email or the pop-up is always going to create a sense of urgency. You need to do it right now, or
Right.
your computer won't be protected, or you won't get to watch this Netflix movie or this sporting event you're watching. It always comes up on your TV when it's something important. And that scam, like the Super Bowl is up there, and you're watching it, and pop up, oh, can't watch the Super Bowl on this streaming service anymore, your subscription is about to expire. Really? Kind of doubtful. Let's just hit delete on that and recycle our TV and go on. Let's not put our credit card in using our remote control, which is hard to do anyway, but can be done. So you need to be very careful.
How do these what other ways can these fake emails look like? I mean, I know that, I actually have a subscription to XM Radio.
That's a big one.
But I do know that, and I know when my subscription's over, but I know that I have actually myself received emails saying, hey, your XM radio is about to expire, you needed it. And I'm like, I just renewed it. You know, so that's a scam too.
Well, or the email says, hey, your XM radio is about to go through a renewal period, and the cost is going to go up. If you renew now, we can give you a big discount on that. There you go. So, I mean, you know, if you know what you pay. I mean, if you pay every month and it's on your credit card every month, it's fine. But if it's something you renew once a year and somebody offers you a large discount, that's something you need to call the company and verify.
Right.
You can call XM Radio if you want and call their 800 number, talk to a human and say, hey, I got a call about my XM Radio or an email about my subscription renewing, and I can get a big discount if I renew it early. Is that right? And they're going to go, ma'am, I'm sorry, that's a scam. Hang up. You haven't lost any money. Verify, verify, verify. Don't accept what you see. Don't do these things.
Right, and this actually happened to me. And actually, when I got that email about the XM radio, it was literally like 3 or 4 days, because I renew it every year. And I was like, wait a minute, I just renewed that. And I was like, scam.
Well, the other thing is, none of us keep good records of these subscription services, whether it's your virus software, whether it's your Netflix or your XM radio or any of these things that we subscribe to. None of us keep good records of that. So we are encouraging everybody to keep a record, keep a ledger, know at least what month these things. You know, you got a new computer recently. What month did you get it in? Okay, write that down, because that's when all your subscriptions that affect that computer are going to expire. So you at least have some information, and refer back to that before you pay anybody this money.
Right. And
don't pay without knowing.
And I know emails are the big ways that they try to trick us. Are there any other ways besides just the email?
We have seen a lot of things referring to the Geek Squad, which is Best Buy, and their text messages. So it's not just emails. It's, hey, you were in Best Buy recently, and there was a mistake made on your charges, so we need to correct that, and so we need your credit card in order to correct that. Well, you think you're getting a refund, like they overcharged you. Well, so you put your credit card into that text message link. Guess what? Your credit card gets charged.
And it sounds so wonderful.
Sounds like the Geek Squad, has the right logos, looks like Best Buy. We've seen that. Best Buy's seen it over and over again across the country. That's a big one in this area and all across the country right now. So be careful of those kind of things.
Do they mail you stuff too in the mail?
Very rarely.
Very rarely?
The thing we've seen on the mail is like a postcard that says they're Alabama Power. Your power bill is overdue. You owe $77.
Well, wouldn't you know that if you got
Here's
your bill?
this link. Go to this link today, otherwise we're going to shut your power off in 24 hours.
Oh, wow.
You get that postcard in the mail, and if you freak out and you go, oh gosh, I got to go to the link, you go to the link and it has an Alabama Power logo on it, and you put your credit card in. That's not Alabama Power. They don't do that. Make sure you call Alabama Power and say, is my power bill overdue?
Right.
They're going to tell you.
Verify.
You got it. There you go. So, I mean, that's the key to this is, you know, we always tell people, stop, take a breath, call and verify with the vendor or the company, and confirm that what you're being told is legitimate. Stop, call, confirm. If you just remember those 3 things, you can avoid being scammed.
And you talked about how we could protect ourselves from phishing scams, you know, of course, to keep track of our subscriptions and our renewals, and don't enter your payment.
Don't ever give them your PIN number, your password, your authentication codes. any of your personal information you don't want to give anybody, because if they get those, then it's your responsibility for the loss.
Right, correct.
No bank or credit union can protect you. No credit card company can.
And they can actually go to www.bbb.org, and they can also check to see if there's similar scams. And
yes.
Because
Yeah.
I know that once I looked on your websites, all kinds of great information on there, folks.
Right.
But you can look on there, and it actually shows to where you could actually, like, if something's going on in your area.
Yeah, we have what we call Scam Tracker, which is across the country. And you can look on there and say, I've got this call from the Geek Squad, and you can see all the different scams that have been reported about the Geek Squad.
Wow.
And so Scam Tracker is on there at bbb.org. Your folks can also call us anytime, 24 hours a day. Our folks are there Monday through Friday, live operators, and ask questions, and they can tell them what they see in the system. And that's 205-558-2222. They're more than happy to talk to them anytime they have a question.
And then other things that are going on too, I know right now in the area, I've heard of people getting, like, I guess, targeted, like when they're online or whatever, saying, hey, here, click here, if you're Medicare eligible, if you have Medicare, you can get $3,500 worth of free groceries. Well, and that sounds fabulous, but it's too good to be true because it's a scam.
Right. If it sounds too good to be true, it is too good to be true. And especially when it considers Medicare this time of year.
Right.
There's so many scams out there about Medicare and Medicare Advantage plans offering wild incentives to change plans.
Right.
That, don't trust any of that. Verify.
Call the Area Agency on Aging, talk to your SHIP coordinator through the Area Agency on Aging, report things to you guys, to the Better Business Bureau, maybe file a complaint with the Federal Trade Commission as well. And always, like you said, to verify, like call your bank, call your credit card company, call your power company.
Right.
And,
check.
And call the local police, because a lot of police departments nowadays too have a detective that specifically
they have somebody in charge of cyber security and cyber fraud.
That does fraud and all that stuff. So that's something that you might want to definitely check into.
Yeah, and we furnish those folks a lot of information. They furnish us information. So, you can always contact us. You can always contact them. We go back and forth with it. Next week I've got a meeting with the FBI office in Birmingham, and we're going to compare notes on what we've seen lately and what they've seen and try and work through some of these things. So we've all got to work together to eliminate the fraud.
Yes, it's always such a pleasure for you to come and visit with us here in East Alabama. We always learn so much from him. I hope that you get to come.
Scary stuff.
I hope that you get to come to our event, or one of our monthly events again this year. I would love for you to come do that.
Glad to do it.
And we have a monthly event every year, every month actually. The Alabama Cares program does through East Alabama Planning Commission. We partnered with the Oxford Health Authority, and every month we have a program once a month. We have different subjects every month. This month is actually Nutrition Month. We have Mandy Williams coming this month, and I think she's even going to do a cooking, like a demonstration of cooking something healthy. I don't know. But every month we have different subjects. It is free, folks. We would love for you to come. It's from 10 to 12 each month. Those are the dates that we have. Every month we have different subjects, and it's free. We have free door prizes. We have vendors that set up that give out really good goodies as well. They give out great things. But it's such a great place to get free information where you're not actually having to go to an office or having to make an appointment with an attorney or a doctor or a nutritionist or whoever it is that's a specialist that day.
Right.
And so I hope that you get
to ask questions at those events.
Yeah, you get to ask questions and everything. So I hope that you get to come back to one of our events. And you've been at our November conference before that we have every year for caregivers, and it's just a lot of wonderful information.
Thank you.
It's dark information, but it's things that we need to learn, because the more you're aware, the better you are.
It's only dark if you get taken advantage of.
Right, that's true.
If we prepare people,
and the more that you know, the better off you are.
Right,
so
exactly.
We do appreciate every one of you out there watching us today, and I appreciate you again for coming.
Glad to do it.
And I hope that you guys have a wonderful weekend. Watch some great basketball. I mean, it is March Madness, or make sure you get out and enjoy the sunshine, even though it's a little bit cold right now.
Got a lot of teams in March Madness. A good weekend to hunker down.
Yeah, that's true too. So, but with that being said, we're just going to sign off here, and we appreciate you so much for joining us here on WEAC TV 24 Alabama Cares programs, Rise and Shine, and we hope to see you next week because we have wonderful, wonderful speakers and visitors coming up as well, and we hope you all have a great weekend.